So, we're talking about how to recover the guard from the half guard. If I'm holding someone in my half guard, it's an advanced position, right? The half guard really only came into play in the jiu-jitsu world within the past decade and a half. It was invented by a guy named Roberto Gordo. Everyone calls him Godai or Gordo. And he had some injuries, and during the course of his injuries, he realized it was very hard for him to maintain a full guard or play a thorough open guard. So he developed a half guard, a way of holding one of the person's legs, or one side of the body instead of both sides of the body. From there, he came up with a number of sweeps, transition to submissions, etc., right? So before we talk about how to replace the guard from the half guard, we have to talk about how the person may be attempting to pass the half guard. So let's look at a basic way that someone passes the half guard, and then we'll move from there how we can prevent that pass and recover. So could you lay on your back, please, and put me in the half guard? Right, the nice thing about the half guard is that it allows the person who's a decent half guard player to be able to, with a minimal amount of coverage on the body, execute a number of successful sweeps. They can roll me over quite easily, and they can also go to the back, right? So for me to control them, though, I have to control and make sure that the side that's being dominated remains mobile. So the first thing that has to happen whenever I'm in the half guard or whenever I'm anywhere is that I have to maintain a base, right? If the person manages to start to push me off of my base this way or start to pull me off my base this way, they can go to the back this way, right? Then I have difficulty in passing. So in order to maintain a base, I have to take away the tools that give them the opportunity to disturb my base. If the person wants to control and manipulate my base, they have to be on their side. Not just on their side, but their spine has to be off the ground. If they're flat, it's very easy for me to pin and control and isolate their hips. If their spine is off the ground, now look, you saw when he sat up, he can move the hips out, right? He can move the hips in, he can move the hips under, and he can swing the arm underneath my leg here and go to something called deep half guard. So my first objective in maintaining my base is, of course, keep my knees wide enough that I can balance. I don't need to grab anything. I just need to work the person to the ground. The easiest way to work the person to the ground is to either hold the shoulder, and the other hand supports here, or the hip, because from the hip comes all of his power. And now from here, I just want to walk around in a circle, this way, until the hips are flat on the ground. That's all, until the hips are flat on the ground. From this position, I want to try to get an underhook. I want to try and come close here and go underneath, like this. If I can hold the shoulder, that's nice. If I can get double upper body control by coming under the head and under the arm, this is even better. This is even better. Let's assume, though, I can just get the underhook. Basic pass, I can hold the arm if I want. I can put the hand on the ground, though I don't recommend it. I like to hold the arm. And I'm going to stand up in a pyramid, or what they call the tripod pass. I'm going to just stand up like this, and then walk my legs high. And you look what happens, my knee goes above theirs. Right now, the half guard that he's using is solid because he's on my thigh. He's controlling the area between my hip and my knee. So I'm going to start to walk up until my knee passes over the legs, and he's only able to control from the knee down, because then that's the only part of my leg I have to escape. The closer he is to my hip, the more he can manipulate my base. So I'm going to get him to the bottom part of my leg. Underhook, right, I can hold the arm like this, and I can just step up like this. And now look, as soon as I put the knee down and touch the ground, he may still hold on, that's okay. Because then I'm going to sit the hip, it's just like what we did in the ball earlier. I'm going to sit the hip, and look, I point the knee this way, and now sit through and take it out. So you can see so it doesn't recover. So knowing that that's the pass, what does the person on the bottom have to do to prevent that? Number one thing, in the half guard, don't let the guy grab your head. Right, from the half guard position, as soon as I see the person starting to reach for the head, I'm just here all the time. All the time. I always watch this arm and make sure it doesn't grab the head. Once they grab the head, It's easy to get the underhook, join the hands, and now they have upper body dominant positional control. Okay, so prevent them from getting the head. If I'm on my back, how much easier is it for them to just reach and get the head? Right? Even with the defense here, look, they just swim over. So, on my side, right? Or more than just on my side, my spine off the ground. Keep my spine off the ground so I can move. So I can move. Not just my hips, like this, in and out, but my upper body, like this, like a windshield wiper. If they start to come too close, get away. Get away. Look, I move my hips and then my body. My hips and then my body. Like that, right? If we're talking about replacing the full guard from the half guard, which was the original question, it's essentially an elbow escape. Right? If I'm mounted and I'm not able to do the upa because the person's base is strong, what do? I raise one leg, straighten the other, move to the side, right? Drag the foot inside, and then what? Lock it down. Lock it down before I go to this side, bring the foot out, and now back, before I can close the guard again. All right, so from the half guard, you can say the person has half a guard, or you can say that I'm holding the person in half of my guard. They also have half of mount. So the elbow escape principle could apply here. If I feel that I'm not comfortable in the half guard, I can use the essential movements of the elbow escape to replace the full guard. How? If they're coming towards me, I want to make sure that they don't reach for the head. I take my body away, and look, I just start to drag the leg out. And as I do this foot here, it goes over and it traps inside to make sure they can't come free. And now I just free the leg, switch the hips towards them, keep going. See, my foot is stuck here. I don't want to be here and then try and take it out. And look, I give them the smash pass. I give them this pass. Right? Let's go back, please. I keep my head free. Now I lock the leg, pull this out. Look, if I go this way, I don't take the leg out here and try and stick it straight. That's when they come under the leg. I keep turning the hips this way until the foot pops out here. Now there's some connection. I can hold the collar, hold the sleeve, straighten the leg, and now face them and cross my feet. Okay? So if I feel threatened in the half guard, I don't have a strong half guard, I don't want the person to pass because I know I'm in danger here. Number one thing, stay on my side, keep them from grabbing the head. If I want to replace the full guard, I can start to move my body away and then my hips. This outside leg just holds their foot until I can withdraw my foot here and then move my hips until my foot's stuck and then pop out the side, straighten, bring them to me. Close the guard. Okay? Okay guys, we're good. Let's try it.